Okay, so what we're setting up right now is we're looking at Newland and Beeland, and I've kind of set up my chart here, and we said per every 10 units of cloth, they could do 2 units of food, so I'm going to divide by what? 2, so that gives me the 1 unit of food and how much units of cloth? 5. Now I have terms of trade, right? For every 1 unit of food, they're giving up 5 units of cloth. So now what do I need to do? Divide by 5, so this gives me how much in unit of cloth? 1, and what does it give me in unit of food? 1/5. So I now know my opportunity cost of cloth. So I'm going to come over here and set up Beeland. I'm going to do cloth and food. How much cloth can Beeland do? 10. How much food? Oh, great. They've given me, haven't they already given me one of my opportunity costs per every unit of food? They give up 10 things of cloth. So now what do I need to do? Divide by 10. So 10 divided by 10 gives me, and then it gives me 1. Per every unit of cloth, they give up 1/10 a unit of food. Hooray. So now that I have my little charts, I could go to my questions, and I could basically answer them. The first one says, calculate the opportunity cost of producing a unit of cloth in Newland. So I need to look at cloth, where cloth is what? 1. So per every unit of cloth, my opportunity cost is how much of food? There you go. 1/5 of a unit of food. Oh, that was easy. Okay, because you have your charts already. Now let's look at part 2. Calculate the opportunity cost of producing a unit of food in Beeland. So I need to look at where food is what? 1. What is their opportunity cost? What are they giving up? 10 units of cloth. Okay, this next one. Which nation has the comparative advantage in cloth production? So I need to look at where cloth is what? 1. So here's where cloth is 1. Okay. Newland gives up 1/5 of, that's lunch, right? Not for us, for another class. Okay. Newland gives up 1/5 of food, right? While Beeland gives up 1/10. So who loses the least? So Beeland should do the cloth because Newland loses a lot more, right? So there we go. So who has the advantage in cloth? Beeland. Who has the advantage in food? Newland. Okay. Now assume the production of Beeland work triples for each good. Okay. So let me do this math for you. Don't write it down. Let me just do this math. Okay. So it says what nation? Beeland triples, right? So for cloth, it was 10. Now it's going to triple to what? 30. And then for food, it was 1. Now it's going to triple to? 3. I divide by 3. That gives me? 1. That gives me what? 2. That gives me? Just because they triple something, does that fix the ratio differently? No. So if they ever tell you that on AP, don't fall for their tricks. It is the same ratio. Okay, so now I showed you and I told you don't write this down because they're trying to trick you, right? So, which country has the comparative advantage in food? Well, has it changed? So who still has a comparative advantage in food? Newland. And it's explained, how did you determine your answer? The opportunity cost has not changed, right? The ratio is still the same. That's all you have to say. How do y'all feel about this free response? This is way different. Okay. This is only a 2-hour test. Again, you get 60 minutes for the multiple choice and you get like 60 minutes for the essays. Okay. Let's look at the next one.
Wait, the AP test?
The AP test is only 2 hours for this course.
Really?
Yeah. like for a full year, it's a 4-hour course, like it's a 4-hour, it's a 4-hour test. So US history was a 4-hour test because you were getting 2 semesters. This one is only 1 semester because it's the macro, and then I should, if they wanted me to, I could have taught micro, but they only offer macro at this school. So you could have taken that and gotten, this is only a 3-hour credit course if you take the AP test and pass, okay?
So you'd still have to take the micro.
Yeah, because in college you have to have 2 hours, micro and macro. 2 classes. Okay, so now let's look at this one. Okay, everybody have this one? I'm looking for mine. Okay. I also need to find a review for y'all that is done, and I'm trying to look for that review. I don't think for a review that's done. I don't know. Somewhere here. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, what is this giving us? It is giving us data, but in what form? What is this? This is a graph, but what is it called? The production possibilities frontier. Okay, basically says this diagram above is the production possibilities curve. Great. For 2 countries, Artland and Rayland. Using equal amounts of resources, Artland can produce 600 hats or 300 bicycles. Rayland can produce 1,200 hats or 300 bicycles. Oh wait, it's giving me numbers, so what should I automatically do?
Chart.
Make my chart even before I look at the questions, because once I have the charts, I can answer the questions. So I'm going to do Artland. And they could do hats. And they could do what else?
Bicycles.
Bicycles. They're going to be snazzy riders. And then Rayland, I'm just going to put H and B. Okay? So Artland can do how much hats? 600 and how many bicycles?
300.
Okay, and Rayland could do 1,200 hats or 300 bicycles. Okay, so everybody have their equation set up? I'm going to look at Artland. What should I do here? And so that gives me what? 1 for bicycles and what for hats?
2.
Okay, then what do I do?
2.
So that gives me 1 and that gives me. And again, we know that they're reciprocals, but I just need to know the terms of trade in case they ask me. So then for Rayland, what do I divide by?
300.
That gives me 1 and that gives me what?
4.
4, and then I divide by what? That gives me 1 and that gives me,
4.
So the top is opportunity cost?
how?
So the top is opportunity cost?
Like this one, like per every 1 bicycle, their opportunity cost is 2 hats.
Oh.
Per every 1 hat, their opportunity cost of what they're giving up and producing that hat is half a bicycle.
Oh.
Okay, so come over here. If they produce 1 bicycle, what are they giving up in hats? 4. When they produce what hat? 1 hat. How much are they giving up in bicycles? So this gives us their opportunity cost. If they produce a hat, what are they giving up in bicycles? But it also tells us our terms of trade. That if they're going to trade 1 bicycle, how much hats should they be giving in trade? 2 to 4. If they're going to trade 1 hat, how much of the bicycle should they be doing? 1/4 to a hat. Okay? So now let's look at what it's asking us to do. Now we have our chart so we can be able to answer these questions. It says calculate the opportunity cost of a bicycle in Artland. So 1 bicycle in Artland, the opportunity cost is what? 2 hats. If 2 countries are to specialize and trade, which country will import the bicycle? So who? Let's look at bicycles, right? When Rayland does bicycles, they're losing 4 hats. When Artland does bicycles, they lose 2 hats, okay? So who should be doing, okay? They lose 2 hats, so we want Rayland to do what?
Import.
We want them to import, right? Because they need to be doing what? Hats. Do you get what it is? It kind of messed you up because you have to think about import. Well, Rayland definitely needs to do hats, right? But now that we're talking about importing bicycles, they need to do the hats. So who's going to import the bicycles? Rayland because they are gonna be making what? Look at this. Who makes more hats? So they need to do what? Make hats. So if they're gonna make hats, so what do they need to import? The bicycles, because who's gonna be doing the bicycles? Artland. They've thrown you for a flip here, right? Okay, that's why we're carefully going through this. We need to explain, why is Raylan gonna import? Because they have the comparative advantage in what? There you go. Okay. In terms of trade, are 5 hats for 1 bicycle. Would this trade be advantageous for each of the following? So let's look at Artland. Wait, let's just look at where bicycles are 1. They're gonna be trading 5 hats. Is that within this boundaries? No, so we know who's gonna be doing the bicycles, Artland, right? Is Artland gonna be getting a good deal? They get 5 hats. Artland is getting a good deal, right? But who wouldn't be getting a good deal? Because can they produce that? So Artland, are they getting a good deal? Yes. Raylan? No, because what? This is not advantageous because it's above what? Above the terms of trade. Actually, we didn't even need to explain it. If the terms of trade, would the trade be advantageous? All we needed to say yes and no. So yes, advantageous, and no, not advantageous. We didn't even need to explain the terms of trade. D, if production in Artland triples, oh gosh, they're throwing you for a doozy. Which country has the comparative advantage in the production of hats? Raylan. Because what hasn't changed? The ratio is still the same. Didn't we see this in that last one?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're gonna look at now, how do y'all feel about the free response? What we're gonna start looking at right now is the multiple choice. Okay? Did everybody get a set of multiple choice? Did y'all get this? Yes? Okay. Y'all did it? I don't know what I did with them. They're right here. Okay. What we're gonna look at is what are they asking us to do and how do we work these out? And again, they're gonna be a little bit different because it's not just straight up vocab. Okay, so I know I have, like, we get out at 13, right? So I essentially have 20 minutes. Let's see if we can get through all of these. Okay, and then all we have tomorrow is the review, and all we have is the binder. So we're gonna look at question 1. A professor hires 2 aides and assigning them the task of reading student papers and typing lecture notes on a computer. One aide, Ben, so let me write Ben out, right? He can read 1 page of student papers per minute, or he could type 50 words of lecture notes per minute. Sorry. So I've written Ben, he can read 1 page of student papers per minute, or he could type 50 words of lecture notes. The other aide, Anne, set up my little diagram, she can read 3 student papers per minute, wow. And Anne can type 60 words. Well, he should just employ Anne. But, can Anne do both? No, so this is why he needs Ben, okay? So, let's determine, this is an output question, right? It's not input, right? Okay, this is an output, what they can produce. So, for output, I'm gonna give you a simple cheat. Let me show you this cheat. For output, one of the things we could do is we could take the outputs of the opposite and multiply them. So if I multiply 50 times 30, what does that give me? If I multiply 1 and 60, what does that give me?
60.
Which one has the greatest output? Ben doing what?
Reading.
Typing, and Ann doing what? So Ben needs to type and Ann needs to read. And the reason why I did this is I just know this doesn't ask me terms of trade because I don't see that little ratio. So now, do we know which each side needs to do? Okay, so now let's read through this. Which of the following statements is true? Ann has the comparative advantage in reading student papers. Did I just circle that? Yes. Ben has the comparative advantage in typing lecture notes. Thank God I don't have to read the rest. There you go. Okay, do y'all see what I did there for an output question? And so if you just need a quick output cheat, I always multiply. For inputs, I what? I add, okay? Let's look at this next one. And again, we're gonna see more of these and they become familiar with you because they don't change. Just like we saw in those two free response, did they ask the exact same thing over and over again? That's what's gonna happen with these multiple choice, okay? According to the graph, if a country is currently producing at point X, does everybody find point X? Everybody see it? The opportunity cost of producing another consumer good. So if they go from here and they produce one more, what are they giving up? What are they giving up? They're giving what? 20 capital. Oh, great, that was A. Hooray, I don't have to read anymore. Are y'all doing okay? Let's look at C. The study of economics is primarily concerned with which of the following? The testing of hypotheses under controlled conditions. No. The allocation of scarce resources given unlimited ones. Yay, because we talked about scarcity in our first lesson. Thank God we don't have to read beyond those. Okay. For an economy with a straight line production possibilities curve. Oh wait, what did we talk about this? When they have a straight line, what does that tell me? This is a constant opportunity cost. Okay, let's look at this stuff. 1, let's see your true false. The opportunity cost of producing another unit is constant. Yes, true, right? The resources are completely adaptable to alternative uses. True. Usually when I have a constant one, it's like the resources of one can be used in the resource for another. So like cars and trucks, or cupcakes and cookies, okay? If it was two opposing ones like cars and computers, it would bow out, okay? Resources are used efficiently. I can't tell, right? So what is my answer? D. Hooray. I'm trying to find a review. Okay. An opportunity cost is entailed in which of the following situations? A student decides to attend college full time. Is there an opportunity cost there? Are they having to give up something? Yes, so that's an opportunity cost. A family uses $20,000 in savings to purchase an automobile. Is there an opportunity cost there? Yes, because they could have used that money for something else. A family decides to go grow.
More wheat, less corn.
Is there an opportunity cost? Yes, the corn. Dang it. So, what is my answer? E. Great. Alright, this next one. 6. A mixed economy. What to produce and how to produce are determined by a central planning agency. No, because that's a command, right? That's a command economy and that's not the answer. A private planning agency. No. An internal planning agency. The markets and the government.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, good thing we just did that lecture today, right? 7. A given gives us a chart. Use the following chart to answer the 7 and 8. If 2 coats are currently being produced, so I have, here's 2 coats, right? Here's 2 coats, right? The opportunity cost of producing a 3rd coat, if they go to the 3rd coat, they were making 85 belts and now they're gonna go down to how many belts?
17,
So what is the opportunity cost? What are they giving up?
15 belts.
Hooray. Okay. The best combination of belts and coats for this country produce is 95 belts, 1 coat, 85 belts, 2 coats, 70 belts, 3 coats, 40 belts, 4 coats, indeterminate with the available information. Can I determine what this nation needs? No, maybe they have a lot of people who lost weight. They probably need belts, right? Maybe they're very cold and they need coats. Do I have enough information of where they should produce today? No, it's indeterminate. Okay, if they would have told me this was Soviet Russia, it'd be definitely coats, right? Okay,
You never know. Maybe the coats turn you.
okay. Country A, I have 16 questions and let's see if we can get this done in the next 13 minutes. Country A can produce either 2 tons of cocoa. Oh wait, so what should I do? Country A, they can produce cocoa, 2 tons, or 4 cars with 10 units of labor. Country B, so I'm gonna set up another little chart. Cocoa, cars. Country B can produce 5 tons of cocoa and 25 cars with 10 units of labor. Okay, what should I do before I even read the question? Do out my charts, right? So over here, what do I get? 2, so I get 1 and 2, and then I can divide by 2 and I get 1 half. Sit up. Okay, over here, what do I divide by? I get 1 and 5, I get 1 and 1/5. Okay. So let's look at this. Country A has the absolute advantage. Wait, country A has the absolute advantage in cocoa. Is that true? They do 2 and they do what? So is that even true? Country A has the comparative advantage in cocoa. So let's look at this. So where cocoa is 1, they give up 2 cars, they give up 5 cars. So who needs to do cars? Country B needs to do cars. So country A should do what? Cocoa. So let's look at this. Country A has a comparative advantage in production of cocoa. Is that true? Well, country B has a comparative advantage in production of cars.
Yes.
There we go. Thank God we don't have to read the rest. Right, let's move on to 10. A point lying inside the production possibilities curve, so here's my PPF, it's a point lying inside, right? Indicates that the combination of goods and services being produced is not possible given the available resources. Is it possible if it's there? Can they produce that? Yes, that's wrong. Both productively and allocatively efficient? No. The result of the reduced trade barriers? An indication that the resources are not being fully employed.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. So in questions 11 through 12 and 13, based on the chart below, this shows some choices of production between 2 countries, Zambulu and Costa del Rey, producing 2 goods, bananas and cocoa, all using the available resources. So what do I need to do? Set up a chart, so I'm putting Zambulu, they could do cocoa and bananas. How much cocoa can they do? 100 tons. How much bananas can they do? So I'm going to divide by 100, that gives me 1 and 1. Great, terms of trade. Now I'm going to put Coastal del Rey, cocoa, bananas. How much cocoa can they do? 100, how much bananas? So I'm going to divide by what? That gives me 1, and that gives me, and then I divide by what? That gives me 1, and that gives me 4. Okay. Got my data. So, before specialization and trade, the opportunity cost of producing 1 ton of bananas in Zimbulu and Coastal Array is the following. So what is the opportunity cost? When they produce 1 ton of bananas, what does Zimbulu have to give up? Okay, so I need to find where it says 1 ton of cocoa, so it's either B, C, or D, right? And when Coastal Del Rey does 1 thing of bananas, they give up how much of cocoa? So what's my answer? Thank God I did my little chart, because it helped me, right? Let's look at the next one. 12. Which of the following statement best describes the absolute advantage or comparative? Okay, so let's go. Who has the absolute advantage in cocoa? They both, right? Who has the absolute advantage in bananas? So I'm just gonna put A there. Okay, so let's look at comparative advantage. Okay, when Zimbulu is doing cocoa, they give up 1 banana, right? And when Coastal Del Rey is doing 1 cocoa, they give up 1/4 of a banana. So who gives up the least of a banana? So they need to do the cocoa and, they need to do the cocoa. And then Zimbulu needs to do the what? Bananas, because they lose more. Okay, so now let's go through our info, now that we've determined comparative and absolute. Zimbulu has the absolute advantage in bananas. Is that?
Yes.
Yes. Coastal Del Rey has the comparative advantage in bananas. No, because we said they have the comparative advantage in what? So that's wrong. Neither has an absolute advantage in cocoa. Okay. Coastal Del Rey has a comparative advantage in bananas. No. Zimbulu has the comparative advantage in bananas.
Yes.
Coastal Del Rey has a comparative advantage in cocoa. There we go. Alright, this one says, if Zimbulu and Coastal Del Rey were to specialize according to the comparative advantage of trade, which of the following terms of trade between bananas and cocoa would both countries find naturally advantageous? So let me pull this out. So we're looking for 1 banana, right? They should be trading how much of cocoa? 1, 4. So where would that be? 0.5? 5? That's over, right? 3?
Yes.
Okay, 6?
No.
0.2. So what's my answer? Okay. Right. If resources are used in making consumer goods can be perfectly substituted for making capital goods. So if I can interchange those things, I could use whatever I'm using for cookies, for cakes, whatever I'm using for cars, for trucks. How would my curve look? Straight line, right? So the opportunity cost is increasing. The opportunity cost is 0. The opportunity cost is decreasing. The opportunity cost is constant. There we go. 15. A production possibilities curve with a constant slope indicates which of the following? Increasing opportunity cost is present. Is that, no, because increasing opportunity cost, how does it look? So that's wrong, right? This is how it looks, so that's wrong. The combinations of goods and services that lies on the production possibility curve is unattainable given the current technology. No. The opportunity cost of production is decreasing. No. The opportunity cost of producing the first is the same as the opportunity cost of producing the successive units. There you go. Okay, don't worry about this last one, because the answer, it says the economy can produce, and we're not gonna do this because it's more technical economics. It says if an economy can produce more consumer goods without giving up capital goods, so is it even a line that goes down or bows out? The line looks like this, and so it would be A. We won't discuss that. Don't worry, it won't be on the test. Okay? So, we got like 4 minutes. We've done our multiple choice. Tomorrow, we are doing our review, because we're gonna go back through everything, and we are doing our binder tomorrow.